This is the second battle in the Use It and Lose It tournament between AK and Blood Leopard. In the first battle, AK managed something quite extraordinary in defeating Rome using Epirus. So now he's going to try to do it again. This time he's commanding Egypt against Arverni. No easy task. Let's have a look at his army. 3 camel archers. Things already start out quite challenging for AK. 3 citizen cav. Then we have 3 Galatian boils. Egyptian infantry. That's good. Egyptian archers for those. And then thorax swords. So Egyptian infantry speed bumps. These guys are worse than Levy Freeman against infantry. They are definitely worse versus cavalry. Just one of the worst units in the game. The only thing they have going for them is that they have precursors. That's it. So let's have a look at Arverni. Now AK has used Epirus and Blood Leopard has used Rome here. So Blood Leopard has definitely used the stronger faction, and in this matchup he also uses the stronger faction. Heavy horse, 3 heavy horse. Celtic warriors, spear warriors, oath sword, chosen swords, Celtic slingers. Yeah, pretty standard Arverni stuff. But let's not forget about the Egyptian elephant. The thing is though, the elephants, I don't see the elephants being easy to use in this particular battle, because Egypt lacks the cavalry to be able to tie down units, because citizen cavalry, only medium, will die fairly quickly, no match for heavy horse, and you won't be punching through many units with the citizen cavalry. So Blood Leopard has, I see at least 2 lines of infantry here. So the levy free up front, it's going to be hard to punch through that and get the elephants into the fight. And of course the camel archers do not have Parthian shots. Trying to kill some levy freemen here from the front. This is their shielded side, so maybe the camel archers would have been better placed on the other side of the battlefield. Then they would be able to fire into the unshielded side of the enemy. That can be quite important actually, where you place your horse skirmishers. If you place them on your left or on your right. It's less effective to have them on your right flank, because then they will be firing into the shielded side of the enemy. The camel archers are pretty much running about unopposed here, but they're just not going to be killing much. 125 range, 35 missile damage. For some reason Arverni is pulling back here, which is a bit strange. They do have some skirmish power, Celtic slingers here. Could trade really well with the camel archers, but the camel archers not a major threat. Trying to finish off some. They're still firing on some Celtic warriors here. That's a good target for them. The thing is, camels are very slow. Slow, short-ranged, hard to use effectively. I wish these Egyptian infantry would take this engagement with the Levy Freemen, because they would lose that engagement. And that comes down to the Levy Freemen having a very substantial armor penetration value compared to the Egyptian infantry. They also have more health. They have more armor. Their melee attack should be worse, yeah, but not by a whole lot. Their melee defense is substantially better. The charge bonus is a lot better. But these Levy Freemen, they are probably a bit too ballsy. Eager to show their worth. The Egyptian infantry just jogging about here. Being very patient, both players. The elephants way off on the side here. The thorax sword center is going to fold under the onslaught of chosen swords, but not that quickly. There is a window of opportunity when everything's engaged for the elephants to come in and rout a few units quickly, because Arverni lacks morale in their mid-tier units. Chosen Swords, only 55 morale. Compare that to the 65 of the... or was it 60? I forget. At least 60 for the sword followers. So we're getting an engagement. Egyptian infantry getting hammered by heavy horse. And the camel archers didn't take any damage there, but the Egyptian infantry just... yeah, look at the heavy horse. About 30 kills on the charge there. The Levy Freemen are going to go in and clean house. There's a unit of Galatian Royal Guard incoming, and that's probably not necessary. The Celtic Warriors do not need to be in there. The Heavy Horse does not need to be in there. The Levy Freemen are going to win on their own. So this is really bad for Blood Leopard, making a massive mistake there, allowing the Galatian Royal Guard to get a charge on multiple units here. Didn't get the best charge. It sort of glitched out because they touched the unit they weren't charging. But allowing the Oathsworn here to get the second line charge in. Very nicely done with the Galatian Royal Guard, giving another charge order on the Oathsworn. That was a smart move. But now the Galatian Royals are blobbing up. The skirmishers in the center here, the Celtic Slingers, are getting hammered by focused fire from the Egyptian archers. Pretty bad for Arverni. Egyptian infantry here holding the flanks. They're going to die momentarily. The thing is though, this is the general. This is the Arverni general. He's already engaged. We're seeing the elephants get hit by precursors, running amok, but they stopped running amok instantly. Did you see that? The icon changed instantly, so very, very lucky there for very, very lucky for AK. That's quite extreme luck. The Oathsworn are smashing the Galatian Royals. The elephants are still in the fight. It's going to be hard to get precursors off on the elephants now. The Levy Freeman starting to break, the Heavy Horse losing decisively, and Elephant Fear. Spear Warriors do have counter cavalry tactics, so they could kill some elephants in melee here before they break. More Arverni units coming in to support. It's not looking good here for the Galatian Royal Guard, losing horribly, and the Oathsworn are fine, doing well. The Egyptian general hasn't lost elephants yet, winning decisively, cavalry counter tactics still in effect, the Egyptian archers getting chased off the field. Now the elephants are starting to drop. They haven't run amok yet though, and there are some Egyptian units over here on the flanks, but the Arverni infantry is killing for the most part. Here the Galatian Royal Guard are doing well against Chosens. A unit of citizen cavalry coming in to do a bit of damage to the African war elephants. Probably not the worst idea. I mean, to break the spear warriors. Getting the spear warriors off there a bit early, quite important. The camel archers running about here in the back, being annoying. So Egypt keeps kiting back with the archers. They haven't done too much damage yet, so they might have some ammunition left. The thorax swords are holding here. The African war elephants going over to break the Levy Freeman. There is an opportunity for Egypt to get rid of the Arverni general here. When this engagement is over, it's going to be much harder. But getting the elephants around here, there's nothing here for Arverni that can stop the elephants. And the Oathsworn are attacked in the rear by thorax swords. They're fighting a lot of units now. Galatian Royal Guard in headhunt. The elephants are not going for the general. If these Oathsworn manage to support from the right angle, the thorax swords are going to die very, very quickly. The Heavy Horse inflicting rare charge penalties here on the thorax swords. The window of opportunity is about to close here for Egypt to get rid of this Oathsworn general very quickly. Because these units are about to break, the engagement is about to be over. Some Levy Freemen here. I think they've been chasing the camels for the entire time. So the Egyptian units are starting to break, sending in the African war elephants here. I think these guys are out of precursors. They should have cavalry counter tactics though. Ready. So we should see the elephants. Yeah, the elephants are dropping so quickly. The cavalry counter tactics isn't even activated. So this is just the elephants getting killed in melee because they are They're tired and they've taken a lot of hit point damage. The heavy horse coming in for the Egyptian archers. The Oath Sword General holding strong here against the Thorax Swords. The African War Elephants are really struggling now. Getting some help here from the Camel Archers, inflicting rear charge penalties on the Chosen Swords. Egypt has a few units left here. Don't know how much ammo there's left on the archers though. 8 minutes left of this game. That's crazy. Celtic warriors getting charged by Shittis and Cav and the camels. The elephants are still alive. Still alive, but dropping. Losing decisively now. Yeah, and that should be it. The general recently died, so a lot of the Egyptian units are going to start having morale problems. Arverni general still... no, the general is dead. The Arverni general is dead with 48 men in the unit. A bit unfortunate, so these Egyptian units in red morale. The Arverni units doing a bit better. The elephants got killed by precursors. So yet again, when we have a faction with inferior infantry, there are only skirmishers and cavalry left on the field. The problem is though, I don't know how much ammunition there's left on these units. And the cavalry units are a few shitty units of camel archers. I just don't see this going Egypt's way, no matter how Egypt plays it. But I'm sure AK is going to try. Getting the general off the field earlier would have been massive, cleaning up that engagement. I think maybe AK was a bit conservative, a bit careful with his elephants there. And being too conservative with elephants, that's going to lose you battles. In the battles that you see elephants being used very effectively, you'll see them being used super aggressively, like almost where the opponent doesn't have time to react to what's being done, because everything is being sent at units with precursors, at skirmishers, and then the elephants can work optimally when rear charging, inflicting fair penalties, making units lose decisively and break them very quickly. But it's hard to do that with Egypt when you don't have a lot of good cavalry support. So yeah, I don't see this going AK's way. I'm just going to fast forward. I know some of you don't like me fast forwarding towards the end of the battle, but this is just Benny Hill stuff, just running away with units that have no chance in hell of killing what's left here. Getting a few rear charges off on the Levy Freeman, very nicely done actually, using both the archers and the camel archers to get the Levy Freeman off the field. But it's just not, I mean, in the forest here, Levy Freeman could break to a rear charge, could break to a standard charge actually, using flaming here, and the Levy Freeman actually broke. The camel archers also have poor morale. So the Levy Freeman off the field, that won't work with Oathsworn though, it won't work with very heavy infantry. So the Chosen Swords chasing after the camels here. Oathsworn chasing after the archers. The archers seem to have some ammunition left, so they could potentially kill an Oathsworn. But the Oathsworn are in spaghetti and they're chasing the archers back. These guys have some ammunition as well, trying to get some rear shots off, which is a good idea. We can have the last minute or so in standard speed. So yeah, the camel archers are doing a good job now in... This is what they're most useful for actually. Charging units in the rear, breaking Chosen Swords by just virtue of rear charge penalties. The problem is though that they will just fold in melee due to their low armor and extremely low melee defense. Pretty low morale as well. So Egyptian archers inflicting rear charge penalties on Oathsworn or not. No, yeah, the Egyptian archers are going to get slaughtered here. And camel archers losing decisively, taking some friendly fire here, trying to break the Oathsworn with whistling shots and the camel charge. I think he realizes, yeah, AK realizes at this point that it's lost. The Egyptian archers getting hammered. And a costly victory there for Blood Leopard. It's a best of 5, but he really needed that victory. For Egypt, the highest killing unit is a unit of camel archers next to the African war elephant. So the thorax swords didn't do too well, but that can't be expected. The cavalry didn't do too poorly, considering that they are citizen cavalry. Thing is, though, the elephants, this army wasn't optimized for using elephants, and using Egypt against Arverni should be auto loss anyway. So, but AK did a fairly good job here of using his army, with the exception maybe of the elephants. They could have been used better. So the Oath Sword will always do well in this type of scenario. The Chosen Swords, they are not they are like 4th place barbarian mid-tier unit, not very good. But using an elephant against Arverni when you only have 3 melee cavalry, that's very hard to do. So the score is 1-1, setting us up for an exciting 2 more games here. At least 2 more games between AK and Blood Leopard in the Use It and Lose It tournament. Strength and Honor.